Welcome to the Care for Kūpuna podcast, where we dive into health, wellness, and vibrant living of our cherished Kūpunas. We are thrilled to take you on a journey exploring everything from health and wellness tips, deeply rooted in the spirit of Hawaii, to navigating the intricacies of retirement, preserving our rich culture heritage, and fostering vibrant communities for our elders.
Whether you're a Kūpuna yourself, a family member, a dedicated caregiver, or simply someone passionate about supporting and uplifting our elders, this podcast is for you. Each episode is crafted with love and the intention to inspire, inform, and celebrate the golden years. So sit back, relax, and join us on this meaningful journey as we care for Kūpuna.
Aloha, listeners. Thank you for joining us this week on Care for Kūpuna, where we care for our Kūpuna. And I'm Lani.
And I'm Trina.
And we are the Kūpuna Care Girls. And today we're going to go over 10 warning signs of dementia. Once in a while we kind of forget, where we leave our keys. I don't know. Today I couldn't even find my keys. I didn't even know where it was. It was in the car. So, it's not unusual to have occasional trouble finding stuff. But what we're going to talk about today is, difficulty thinking, memory, or the ability of performing everyday tasks, and some of the signs that we should look out for, especially Kūpunas. So what is dementia? It's a catch-all phrase. People get it mixed up with Alzheimer's, and in a couple of months, we will have a speaker here, and he will be talking about Alzheimer's and the organizations that he represents. But again, today we're going to go over 10 warning signs.
Yes.
All right, Trina, start us out.
And so, number one, difficulty with everyday tasks. So everyone makes mistakes, of course, but people with dementia may find increasingly difficulty doing things like keeping track of monthly bills, even following a simple recipe. The Alzheimer's Association says that they may also find it hard to concentrate on tasks and take much longer to do them, or have trouble finishing them too. So maybe you see half-washed dishes, and maybe dishes are put away, but they haven't been cleaned, like noticing your loved ones' habits around the house may change, So just being aware of these signs is very important for us.
Number 2, repetition. So asking a question over and over, or telling the same story about a recent event multiple times. And with my dad, he had dementia. And, we have to ask them questions, or we would ask the same questions as if it's the first time for them. Even if he's asking, what did we have for lunch? You would answer as if it was the first time he heard that. So if he's asking, or she's asking the same questions over and over, or repeating the same story, then you might want to get it checked to see a doctor.
Yes. Now, tip number 3, communication problem. Observe if your loved one is having trouble joining in on conversations or following along in the conversation. Or maybe they are in the middle of a sentence and they just stop abruptly and they forget what they were saying. Or in the middle of a thought, or they're struggling to think of words of the name or the objects that used to come so naturally to them. That's another tip, or maybe just another warning sign to look out for.
And warning sign number 4, getting lost. People with dementia may have difficulty with visual and spatial abilities. And that can come from, itself in problems like getting lost while driving. When we found out that my dad didn't know where to go to pick up my nephew at school, that was a major sign of, okay, Dad, maybe you shouldn't be on the road. So that was the beginning of like, okay, we need to watch out for Dad when it comes to, picking up, our nephews and nieces.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And tip number 5, personality changes. A loved one who begins acting unusually anxious, confused, fearful, or suspicious. They may also get easily upset, and depressed is also another form of concern. You may notice, maybe they're not socializing, maybe they're not being their cheerful self, or maybe they starting to think everybody's out to get them, totally out of their personality or their normal behavior. That's definitely a concern.
Warning sign number 6, confusion about time and place. If someone forgets where they are or can't remember how they got there, that's a red flag. So I remember, again, my dad, in the middle of the night now, he's looking for the restroom and he walked outside. Instead of going to the bathroom, he went to the front door, not knowing that it was the front door. So he just continued to walk, and it was really late at night or early morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And so for a couple of hours, we were worried. My nephew who lives upstairs, he went out to go look for grandpa, and he was like a block down. And of course, and the way my nephew found him is because he recognized my dad's sneeze. So he has a very distinct sneeze or cough. So he was unaware, didn't know where to go. And so another warning sign is confusion about time and place. Very dangerous also for seniors to be out there where they, don't know where to go.
Right. And 7 is misplacing things. Someone with dementia may put things in unusual places, maybe placing in their keys in the icebox or in the oven or in the microwave. They may have difficulty retracking their steps to find their misplaced items. I know we all misplace things from time to time, but putting things in unusual places, I think is a real big warning sign that we need to pay attention to, just being aware.
Yeah, like finding the remote in the freezer or, something like that.
Yeah.
Number 8 warning sign is troubling behavior. If your family member seems to have increasingly poor judgment when handling money or neglects grooming, like taking a bath. Like for us, we had to tell my dad, like, okay, Dad, you have a doctor's appointment. And he refuses to go to the doctor without taking a shower. So that was our way of having him go take a shower, and then after that, he would forget about the doctor's appointment. So we had to be creative in ways of trying to get him into the shower. So that's, number 8 warning sign would be this type of troubling behavior.
Right. And number 9, loss of interest. Again, not feeling especially social from time to time is one thing, but suddenly losing your routine or loss of interest in family members, friends, work, social events is a big warning sign. It's a symptom of memory loss, of thinking problems that are not as served as dementia. To Alzheimer's disease, people with MCI are at an increased risk of developing dementia.
Mm-hmm. And finally, number 10, forgetting old memories. So memory loss that becomes more persistent is often one of the first signs of dementia. So, for example, we would ask my dad, I feel bad because you're picking on my dad. It's the, asking, Dad, remember when, or even my mom, remember when, and then it's hard for them to remember. Usually they forget short-term memory, but there are times when long-term memory, they wouldn't also recall. So that would be another sign dementia is forgetting old memories. So these are there's different types of dementia. And, like I mentioned earlier, right, Trina, we're going to have a special guest from the Alzheimer's Association. And we know that September is, I believe, World Alzheimer's Month.
Right. Yeah? I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure you guys get all this information ahead of time for, just taking care of maybe your loved ones, or maybe noticing or recognizing these things for yourself, right? And getting the help and having them from the Alzheimer's Association on. Maybe they can provide resources or a community to be a part of.
Exactly.
Like every episode, we like to end with a quote, a pun, or a joke. But today we're going to end with a quote. Worry never robs tomorrow of its sorrows. It only robs today of its joy. So with that, we'll end it with where aloha meets wisdom, one podcast at a time. Until we meet again, a hui ho.
Aloha. Mahalo for joining us on this episode of Care for Kūpuna, where we explore health, wellness, and vibrant living for our cherished Kūpunas. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights.
Remember, your support can make a difference. 20% of all proceeds from our podcast go to a nonprofit organization here in Hawaii dedicated to helping seniors in our community. If you'd like to contribute, visit our website at www.carewithak.com and make a donation.
Are you a brand or business looking to align with our mission? Consider sponsoring our podcast. Visit our website for more information on sponsorship opportunities.
For those with stories to share, we invite you to be a guest speaker on our podcast. Head over to our website to express your interest and become part of the conversation.
Last but not least, stay connected with us by subscribing to our email list and following us on social media at Care for Kūpuna with a K. Join the Care for Kūpuna community to stay updated on all things related to health, culture, and creating vibrant communities for our elders.
We appreciate your time and look forward to welcoming you back on the next episode of Care for Kūpuna.